Australia? This, hey, Jerry. I'm really not satisfied with how the head is looking. I want the head to be a little bigger. So I'm gonna extend it a little more. I feel like the proportion with the hand is not that right. You know, I hope that the proportion of the head. Wow, that is cool. Hey, thanks, man. I feel like the proportion of the head and the hand should be equal, but right now it feels like the hand is a little bigger than the head, right? So I want to try to make the head a little bigger, right? Something in this nature, right? And since this is sketching, we're not going to make it any fine lines. We're just going to make it just soft scribble lines and very light lines to be able to get Yes, something like this. Now the proportion feels right. Exactly like this. But it feels like this person's head is ugly. This person's head is a bit not a fine head, so I'm gonna extend this place a little bit, right, and give it that form of an oval kind of looking scar, because you know the top of your head is most people's top of their head is a bit bumpy, right? So I'm gonna go with that anatomy like this. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, now I'm loving it. That's cool. Hey, thank you. So yes, now the scar is as I wanted. So I might be right, like this, and maybe I can make this finger like this. Nah, I'll leave the finger like that. Yeah, anything else? Maybe this cheek can extend a bit inside like that. Right. So like this. Yeah, now I feel like the proportion is right. So I can start playing with it, right? So this is the like the base, should I call it the base structure of what we want to do. So after we have this, and we have this down, now we're gonna play with it. You guys can give me some ideas of what you think I can do with this. um, but at the moment I'm just gonna take my pen and start inking it. I want to draw a snake somewhere, but I don't know where to put the snake. Right, probably the tail here, coming out of the eye here, but that will be a little bit too wicked. All right, I'm not gonna do too much. I'll just keep it as simple as possible, because less is more, you know. I'll keep it like that. And all right, let's start detailing it out. Right, I'm gonna grab my pen to make it pop more and start shading start shading a couple of areas. Right. Okay. All right, the cheekbone, we're gonna highlight the cheekbone a little bit. uh, the cheekbone, these areas, these are the cheekbones. So the cheekbones, and here this bone, I'm gonna shade it a little more. And this skull, right, we have this down. So yep, this is what we have so far. Now I'm just going to take my time and work it out as crazily as I can. Crazy. Did I say crazily? I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean, right? I'm just gonna make it sketchy yet easy to follow. So now, as usual, I'm gonna start with my pen, my 0.2 pen, right? Like 0.2 pen, just to get certain areas down that I'm very certain of. For example, these cracks in the head, I love how it's looking, right? So I'm just gonna follow it like that. Now the point here is, mostly when I'm following something like this, the pencil layout is not what I really want it to do. Like I always say, that is just a guide, right, for what what I would plan to do. So it's not necessarily I need to follow it exactly. Sometimes I'll just sketch it and just as I start working on it, start inking it, I realize that, oh man, I got some brilliant more ideas on how to execute it, right? So the pencil is just some sort of basic guidelines, right? That helps me to ink it properly, you know. So you just follow it if you want, or you can be a little creative as you go. I like to be creative, right? So mostly and mostly when I'm doing some stuff like this, you'd realize that I never follow what I create. Because the more you do, the more you realize that, oh, I don't know this place. Oh, I like this thing. I want to add this to it, right? So we'll be shading this crack, and the easiest way to shade the crack is you double and you shade it, right? You double the lines like this and you shade it a little more um, like this. You don't shade all the way through because cracks don't work like that. Right, you shade, you leave it thin, and you shade and you leave it thin. Right, like something like this. Right, now it's looking sexy, a little sexy, not too much. All right, so we keep working on it like that. No, I just got an idea. Yeah, I just got an idea. I want to open the head and put something inside the head. Maybe a bird. Probably put a bird in it. Right here, put a bird in it. Something like this. Because it has to be telling a story. Mostly I like the arch to tell a story. It's not just a beautiful piece of something that you've created. I want it to have a deeper meaning, you know. So yeah, I'll keep thinking on this as I work on this. So you'd realize that this area, my strokes are downwards, right? Are vertical strokes. And this area, my strokes are horizontal. That's because of the direction, because you see this side it's going up and this side it's flat, right? So that is how you would shade it. If you need more clarification on that, kindly let me know in the chats. All right, so after you establish that tone, then I come in here and I go horizontal, just to emphasize on that. Use cross hatching, right? All right. Okay, so we keep gonna shade this area of the hand, but first, before we shade, we're gonna draw the thumb properly with the pen. Now you see how I'm shading the eye sockets. I'm shading it in a curve motion because that is how you would have to shade it, following this line here. That is how you would get the form of it's pushed in or it's buried in, that kind of feeling. When you shade it straight, it's gonna be flat, right? And it won't give us what we are looking for. So you shade it in a curved motion, following these contours. You repeat it. Right. Now we do the same thing here. We go this direction. So we have this, and I want this area to appear a bit higher than the rest. So I'm going to leave this place, right, so it feels that more light is it hits in this area. And I'm going to shade this lower part, right? This would mean that this place is lower, and always the higher areas are overexposed. That's like they receive more light, right? And the darker areas essentially means that not enough light, right? So you keep that in mind whenever you're trying to shade this, anything like this. Now when it comes to the nose, we're just gonna go dark on it. But since there's some sort of bone structure in the nasal cavity, we're gonna leave some areas a bit white. We're not gonna shade all of it. Right, we're gonna have it like this for now, right? We keep it like this, and we didn't do so much to it. Just keep it a little simple for now, because we're gonna come back when we get to different phases of the sketch of the shading, just to apply some sort of values to the shading we are creating, right? So in the first phase, I really don't want to do too much. I just want to get the values in and make sure that everything is at the right tone, and every aspect of the proportion is right. Then I come back before I lay down the details and whatnot. Right? That is how I like to work. However, some people would start from one portion of it and detail, and draw the whole thing. Yeah, you can do anything that works for you. I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating here. I'm gonna shade a little bit with my pen still. I feel like the tone, that kind of tone that the pencil produces, it makes it more realistic for what I'm looking for. It's a little smoother, right? Although the pen can get you that smoother, but you would have to create it over and over. What do I mean is you would have to go more of density. You have to create more strokes like this in order to get that feeling of what the pencil would give you, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I like a mixture of both, right? Give it a little bit of a pen sketch, add a little bit of the tone that the pencil produces. A mixture would always be a good idea, in my opinion. However, you can try and see which one works for you. And you can work with that. I feel like it's always best to experiment and see what works for you, right? You don't have to just stick to one thing, right? It's just like what Bruce Lee said. Bruce Lee's like, listen to everybody, right? And take what you need and throw away what you don't, right? Yeah. So not everything that I'm saying would resonate with you. However, you just listen and take what works for you, and anything else that doesn't apply to you, just toss it out the window. Right? One of my favorite architects, her name is Zaha Hadid, the late Zaha Hadid. She was like, there are 360 degrees. Why do you want to stick to one? All right. So it's just advisable to just try everything, find what works for you, and keep exploring. All right. Yeah. Now I feel more confident in the strokes now. Right. I'm using a 0.2, 0.2 to shade, so it goes more smoother and the strokes are much thinner. You can use a 0.1. I just couldn't find my 0.1, so I decided to just stick with 0.2, and so far so good. Add a little bit of detail here to the bone. Right? It's pretty funny, like how you would create, or what you call it, how you shade rocks. It's the same way you would shade this thing. I just realized it. Like with your shading a rock, that's that's the same method that you would apply in shading this. Hi, little bro. So what's up, big bro? That's the coolest thing I've ever seen, by the way. Hey, man. I appreciate that comment. Wow, thank you, man. That's the coolest thing. I sub. Thank you. R.I.P. Ted. K-A-W. What does the K-A-W means? What does it mean? Can you tell me what that means? It reminds me of something. K-A-W. Just take your time. So this is the part that we would have to change our pen to something thicker. Because if you know these kind of pen drawing, these kind of pens, if you apply too much pressure, the tip will just disappear, right? The tip here, it will just disappear. I have a lot of pens that it's not reusable anymore. Like this one, for instance, you realize that the tip of this pen is just disappear. It's usable, but it doesn't give me the same kind of strokes I like or I would want to have when I'm stroking. Shading, right? That's the right word, right? So you be careful with it. You don't apply too much pressure on it. There's a tip, by the way. So I'm just gonna go like this, easy. All right, nice. So far so good. I'm sort of satisfied with it. I'm just going to throw in my pencil to add a little bit of values here and there. I already explained why I prefer to mix the two. I want to add more values, some sort of the tone is just it's just beautiful if you have these two in there. It's more like highlights. It's more like highlights, midtones, and shadows. And the pencil will give you that tone of a mid-tone, and the marker, no, the pen would give you that mid-tone vibe. You know what I'm, you know. And the highlights, we will just have to leave it overexposed with a little bit of shade with our pencil, I mean, right? You see what I'm saying? So now this area becomes our mid-tones. So the mid-tones, we wouldn't want to go so hard on it. We just want to go a little bit just to sell the idea of this mid-tone. All right. So we just have this mid-tones in there, and you can just relax and just go bananas on them. Right, but don't forget the pattern of the shading, because we want this place to look, what's it called, concave? I guess concave is what I'm looking for. Am I right? And I want it to be a sketch. I don't want it to be I don't want it to look too serious, because the art itself is already too serious, right? So I'm just gonna scribble, just make it a bit sketchy, you know what I mean? Right. So I just come in here, throw in my mid-tones for it to sell properly. Sometimes the reason why I don't like to use the pencil for shading is, after some time the pencil is gonna start to bleed. All right, it's gonna bleed in the book. Like if you close it, you realize that it's gonna smudge all over the paper. So mostly what I would like to do is use the pen to emphasize those kind of areas, right, to get the kind of effects that I want. So this area lower, this part here, I wouldn't want to stress too much on it, right? I just go easy shading, right? I just want it to be some sort of abstract sketching here to help me shade it. Right? Exactly, right? So this place, I would think about it, how to make it much more creative, right? I don't want to scratch. I could just scribble the whole thing around it and make it appear imperfect, right? There's one quote that I really like, is imperfection is virtual perfection. All right, so don't try to get it too crisp. And if it's too crisp, it feels like factory, and it doesn't feel like human. That's my opinion. However, if you were working on it, you would prefer to have it, you know, as fine as it gets, right? Now we come in here that I was saying that I want to put something in the scar. let's keep working on it. All right, now the scar. Wholly underrated. This is wholly underrated. Hi. Yo, Wolf Wolf. 10,000 stars. What's up? So I'm just gonna change my pen now. I'm gonna pick 0404. Previously I was using 02. So I want to highlight the outlines of certain areas, right, to make it pop some more, help define what I'm trying to create for certain areas, right? So for the nostrils, this area I'm just gonna go a bit darker, right, just to help make it obvious, right, exactly like this. And some areas I would go a bit darker. Something like this, because you don't want to shade everything inside. You would want to leave some spaces white, like that. Sometimes try not to overdo it, right? When you are trying to give the outlines, you try not to overdo it, because I've been in situations whereby I'm so excited in inking it. Wow, those shading are so realistic. Hi, thanks, man. I was so happy in, what do you call it? I was so happy in what was I saying? In inking it, right? And trying to make the I forgot what I was going to say. I was so happy in trying to make the outlines bolder, and I overdid it, and it became a little too dark, right? So we wouldn't want to have that. So you try as much as possible to take your time and not to overdo it, because it's pen drawing. When you mess up, you wouldn't have any second chances. You just have to start over again, or just be creative with whatever mistake that you created, right? So you just need to take your time and think through what you are creating before you ink it, right? But sometimes you just have to go with your intuition, right? A lot of times I will just follow my intuition, and if it goes wrong, I know, okay, this doesn't the style doesn't work, right? But mostly here I want to do something with this side, but I haven't yet decided on it fully. I'm trying to trying to decide what I want to do. I want to put a bird inside, or I want to put a brain, draw the brain, the human brain inside, or put something here, but I still don't know what to put in here. So I want these highlights, these areas to be very obvious. For the midtones, I'm just gonna make it like this, right? Make it pop, right? All right, I'm gonna put a bear. I'm gonna put a bird in his head. I'm gonna put a bird in the head. How about a butterfly? Guys, give me some ideas. Which one is gonna be better, a bird or a butterfly? Let me see. So for a butterfly, I'm gonna make it a butterfly. All right. I'm gonna do a butterfly. I'm gonna do a butterfly. I'm gonna put a butterfly in there. gonna do them like this. I'm gonna do it like this. Put in the butterfly. All right, there it is, a butterfly. All right. So if the butterfly is in the scar and the scar is open, you realize that these corners would be thickened, right? So I have to do that from here. This area will be thickened because you got to show the thickness of the scar, right? So we'll have this area thickened like that. Like this. Okay. Wow. Now you realize that after I drew this line there, it's disturbing the shape of the butterfly. But that is okay. I would have to be creative with that one. Right. So we have this butterfly. And I'm just getting another idea. I'm going to make the butterfly colorful. All right. Just going to make it colorful. I'll use different colors for the butterfly. I'll put a bit of red and blue in it. All right. So I'm going to start working on the edges of the scar to help me define the butterfly properly, right? Because that it will really help me understand what I'm creating. Just like that. Nice. So now it's a bit obvious, but we're going to do a little bit of shading in here. But let's just hold on that. Now we're going to draw this butterfly. Our beautiful butterfly. Right? I gotta put a little bit of half of the butterfly inside the scar, right? So it feels that you have the foreground and the background. You play with it a little bit, right? All right. So here we have a piece of that inside. Then I'm gonna come in here, draw this additional pattern. Right. So with this one, we have this done, right? I wish I can add one more here. There you go. Beautiful. With that, then I come down here and I add these ones in to give it more details. Right, there you have it. Nice. Now we're gonna move on to the body. All these lines, the guidelines that the pencil created, I'm gonna clean them off, and it's gonna look a little easier to understand, because right now it's looking too foggy. If you don't understand, what is going on, it's because of that. It's looking a bit too foggy here, right, which is normal because of the lines that I created as my pivot. Right, so I'm gonna go like this. Gonna have this. Right, nice. So now I'm gonna wait for it to dry a little bit, because if you start erasing it, the pen might start bleeding. However, this pen does not really bleed as to my previous pens that I use. But either ways, I wouldn't want to take the risk. I would just work on a little bit of shading, make it. Isn't she beautiful? Come on. Come on, guys. Tell me if this butterfly isn't beautiful. Mostly when I'm working. So this line, I'm gonna have to be creative with this line. And what I'm gonna do with it is I'm gonna draw a line here that connects it to it. That feels like it's the other half of the butterfly. And I'm gonna shade with that like this. Alright. I hope it works because it was a mistake. So I just need to be creative with this mistake, or I have to start all over again. That's the two options I have. Right? Okay. Nah, this is beautiful. Man, it was your idea, bro. It's your idea. You gave me that idea. Thank you for the butterfly idea. I was gonna draw it like a scarecrow or a hummingbird or a kind of bird, you know. But then I just didn't know how well it was gonna fit. So I just paused on that idea and I was like, let me ask my lovely subscribers. Maybe someone will be kind enough to give me an idea. So thank you for that. So I have this butterfly. How do I say it? Is it busting out? Right. So I'll be taking my I'm taking my red pen and I'm gonna shade some parts of this butterfly red. right. Now let's see. I'm just gonna grab my pen and give it a little bit of color, right? The butterfly, I'm just gonna give it a little bit of color. Yo, now I ask why, even though you use ways to draw a reference step by step, it still look bad. Is this normal? This happens to me almost every time. Yo, may I ask why, even though I use different ways to draw a reference step by step, but it still look bad? Is it normal? This happens to me almost every time. This looks awesome. Damn, underrated here. Yo, man, thank you. Thank you for the comment. And Wolf, I it's normal. It's normal. It's normal. I feel you just need give yourself some time. Don't push yourself too hard. All right? Give yourself time. Give yourself time and keep practicing. That's all. All right? Just give yourself time, because if you push yourself too hard, you are not giving your subconscious time to process whatever that you are learning. It takes time to be able to understand what you are doing. If I ask you to draw a circle, you can draw a circle because you know what a circle is and you've been drawing a circle your whole life. So it comes to you intuitively, right? But if I ask you to draw fingers, for instance, or draw an elbow, for instance, you haven't put a lot of practice into drawing an elbow, so It won't come as natural, even though I give you the steps into creating that. You feel me? So give yourself time. Don't push yourself too hard. Just keep practicing. I feel like right now you can compare your drawings now to, let's say, 3 months ago, how you were drawing. Compare it, and you see there's a difference in what you have, in how far you have come. Maybe right now you not notice it, but if you look back to your previous work, you would definitely recognize the difference, right? It's just because you're comparing yourself to what you want to be versus what you are right now. So you feel like you're not doing a good job, right? But bro, relax. All right? Compare yourself to where you were from, like, let's say 2 months ago. All right? Then you tell me if you don't see difference in what you are doing. So just keep practicing. That's all. Right? Don't push too much. Don't push yourself too hard, and you become something that you don't want to become. So just take it easy and keep practicing. All right? Just keep practicing. You could also try to draw simple stuff. Anything that you couldn't draw before, try to see if you can draw it again. All right? Take it easy, man. All right. So now I'm going to add in, what color do you think I should add? Maybe here. I want to add blue or orange. I want to add in blue or orange. Or yellow? Nah, yellow won't work. How about this color? How about this color? All right, now this side of the scar would have to be a bit darker, right, to help emphasize on the butterfly. Right, because I cannot leave it. On second thought, I could also leave it because it might feel more like, if I want to leave it, then I have to shade the environment to make it darker so it feels like the butterfly is coming out with a lot of light, so it enlightens the whole scar, so everything here is dark. Or I have to darken the scar. Okay, it's either one of them. I have to think about it a little bit more in order to get that. I guess I'll be shading all around it so that more emphasis will be placed on this thing. I think I'm gonna do that. All right. So I like the butterfly color, the black and red gradients together. Ooh, haha. Thank you, man. I'm gonna do something, gonna add some sort of something like this to the butterfly, like some aroma, right? Some sort of stuff like this to the butterfly. All right, but I'm gonna do this with color, all right? Do stuff like this with color and make it yeah, I'm gonna do it like that. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna do that, but I'll probably do that with color. So I feel like the color is gonna, it's the color will make it make more sense, right? Right. So I'll do, it's more like a, what do you call it? It's aura. Or let's say the aroma, you know, like something crazy is happening here, right? Yeah, something like this. So I'll do it like that. But then I'll do it color. Right. Probably even before with the color, probably I need to work on this background here, get this background a bit more darker so that I can apply this color, so the emphasis would just be on this part of the image, right, of the sketch. But yeah, and there's gonna be a little bit of a shadow here to make it feel like this place is a bit darker, right? Because the scar, because it's within the scar, so there's gonna be a little bit of a shadow in here. The shadow would be casting upon the edges of the butterfly, right? Yeah, so these are just like little tricks that you can keep in mind when you are creating stuff like this, you know. Not every one of them is going to make sense, but you just keep this kind of principles as rule of thumb to help guide you through the creation of stuff like that. All right, so yeah, I wish I can keep working on this thing, but at the moment I don't I haven't decided on what to do here, right? Which colors to use. I can use my color pens. I can use my color pens to do that. But then, yes, I'm getting too much ideas in creating something like this. So, yes, anyways. Please like, share, subscribe. Creating this thing has been really fun. I'm gonna try something right now and see how good it's gonna look. Oh my god, it looks so good. It looks so good. Oh my, I'm crazy, you know, guys. I'm crazy. So I'm gonna use my color pens like this. Just try wiggly lines like this around it, right? And I'm gonna erase it. I'm just gonna erase it and use my color. If it looks good, hooray. If it doesn't look good, hooray. You know, the most important thing about this thing is the process of creation, right? If you enjoy the process, definitely the results was gonna be good. Not always, but at least you would learn something from the process, right? So I'm gonna grab my color pencils my color pens. I'm gonna grab all of them because I want it to be very colorful. So I'm just gonna grab my color pencil, my color pens. Why do I keep saying color pencils? Right, like this. Maybe it will be good, maybe it won't be good, but I had to, I had so go. I hope to get more ideas in the future. Bye bye. All right, man. Have a good have a good have a good evening. I'm also gonna step out soon after this one. Right now, I'm just getting too much ideas, so I'm gonna do the scribbles, and after that, I'm gonna call it off. It's it's pretty late already, so I'm gonna grab my All right, guys. So I'm gonna stop here right now, and thank you guys so much for watching, sticking around with me throughout this creation of this one. Yes, thank you so much. Truly appreciate your time. Kindly like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. All right. and I'll see you in my next stream or on my shorts. All right, or any of my videos. All right, kindly like, subscribe if you can, share. All right, guys, have a good day and peace out.